Welcome back to the morning show. It's Wise Guy Wednesday. In addition to being Thanksgiving Eve, so we've kind of teamed up two elements of the morning show, Dr. Z and the Wise Guy. It's scaring me.
We're talking about EKGs, electrocardiograms, and Matt, you have wired up this thing, and I do have a heartbeat.
Right, and we'll explain that in a second, but first, I can't forget, because last time I asked folks to send me email and explain what an EKG did, and I got two great answers, one from Ricky Koss of Seidel and one from Emily Devon of Muhammad, and they both understood what an EKG was and explained it very well, so they're both getting T-shirts as soon as they tell me what size they need. So you have to email me.
Okay, make sure you give them that information.
If you hold very still, that's okay, and we can see here on the screen your heartbeat as this little thing goes by, and we're going to freeze it here, and we're going to have Dr. Z come and explain it to us in a second. Well, that's probably pretty good.
Okay.
Okay, so now...
So I've got a pulse.
Okay, you have a pulse?
Right, and in a professional EKG machine, we would have a filter to get rid of some of this, what's called artifact. But these spikes...
I know I'm old, but I don't know that I have artifacts. Okay, saving somebody else the trouble of saying that.
These spikes represent Gabriel's heartbeat, and this little bump here, each one of these, represent her heart recharging for the next beat.
Oh, so it does recharge, so it works.
So there's a lub and a dub.
Right.
Okay, Matt's giving me... Now, you're saying some things that can change the way that this affects it, because...
Right. In a professional setting, there's always a little bit of lotion or something called conductivity gel in the pads to help...
Okay, this isn't exactly conductivity gel, but...
It might be.
To help the electric current pass from...
I'm going to get a shock from this, am I?
That's all right. I can do CPR.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so and that's the difference between doing this and when you put it on someone's
chest.
Right.
Well, I can explain what we're doing here. These are just two electrodes that you're holding, one in each hand, and so that's pretty far away from your heart also. So this is not the ideal situation. It's just easy to do, so you don't have to take off any part of your clothing.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
And normally, if you were being, well, you can explain this, right? You would have 12 of these pads attached to your skin.
Right, depending upon which part of the heart you want to look at, and most times doctors want to look at what's called your left ventricle. They put the pads across the left part of your anterior chest, the front part of your left chest. But we can put them up to the right part, the back, depending upon which part of the heart we want to look at. And the same principle applies to something called an EEG, a brainwave test, where we hook these pads up to your scalp.
We're going to try that on Robert and Matt later. Oh, okay. Here, Robert.
Notice they didn't volunteer you for that one.
Yeah. There, I know what.
Wow, look at that brain activity.
I don't see a whole lot.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's flatlining. Okay, and you also were saying does it matter how tight you're holding these, or?
Actually, you should be holding them comfortably with a nice firm grip. But if you try to hold them too hard, you may generate what's called more artifacts.
See? Okay, and you were saying that you've done this at the engineering open house. And what were you saying about the way people's hands are?
Well, sometimes if you have somebody who's worked very hard and they have calloused, dry hands, you won't see anything. And the people get very upset if they don't have a heartbeat, generally. Right.
Okay.
So now, next week, I believe, we're going to have an electrical safety thing, and that's actually relevant to this because electrical shock can stop your heart as can other things, and so that'll be really interesting.
Okay, we'll stay tuned for that next week. Any questions for next week? Or
no.
Thanksgiving? Well, it's Thanksgiving break. You know, you and I didn't have classes right now. Well, Matt Sellen, the Wise Guy, and Dr. Andrew Cesada, thanks for checking our hearts this morning. We do have one. Stay with us. We'll have another look at today's weather right after this.